And welcome back to the Verizon Center, where it's time for Game 2 of our doubleheader, the 2012 Boys A-Colon City title game, pitting the top team in the All-Met Sports Top 20, Paul VI, the champs of the WCAC, against the DCIAA champions, 7th-ranked Coolidge. Hi folks, I'm Jeremy Huber. My analyst Monica Moore rejoins me doing double duty after doing such a great job on the girls title game. And obviously this game, it's an important one because it's the Catholic League, it's the City League. This one for all the marbles when it comes to bragging rights in the area. But the interesting thing in this one, Monica, obviously is these two teams really are kind of the undisputed champs of their league. Both going through district play, conference play, undefeated. And so really, it's not like someone pulled an upset to get here. These two teams really have earned their spot. But the interesting thing is, Monica, the fact that really these two schools kind of unfamiliar with this venue.
Well, that's exactly right. We're playing these games tonight here at the Verizon Center. And for Paul VI, they have never been in the DC title game before. So this is a huge deal for them. It was a huge deal for them to win the WCAC. And then to be here tonight, they've already made history. They'd love to put a little more hardware in the trophy cabinet, however, and make more history. Now for Coolidge, it's a little bit of a different story. They were here back in 1988, but they didn't win the title. So they would love to win the title, have those bragging rights. And of course, it was just a big deal for them this year to win the DCIAA, to get that championship. But this is where all the bragging rights are here, right here. Everybody wants to win this DC title game. These are always great games. DeMatha has owned this competition for the past decade or so. And so for both these two teams to be here tonight and to get the win, it would be huge.
Yeah, and you look at it, you talk about the matchup, and obviously Coolidge only been here twice. He said both coming back in the 80s. Big game tonight between the Colts of Coolidge and Paul VI. And again, when you look at this one, I think you have to say, like I said, these are very, very good basketball teams. And some would say, Paul VI, maybe the team really to beat in this one. But then you look on the other side, some of those wins that Coolidge has had over Riverdale Baptist, also over Montrose Christian, these guys can play.
Absolutely.
And so when you look at on the other side of things with Paul VI, they've obviously had some very good season. You talked about DeMatha owning things. They've gone ahead and really been so good when they've gone ahead. They've knocked off DeMatha 3 times in the season. If you can do that, obviously you're earning your spot in the city title game.
Stan Robinson.
Absolutely. A big story here tonight, though, is that Paul VI, they're a very deep team, but they're missing one of their standouts. Stanford Robinson will not be playing tonight. He has a 1-game suspension, and so Daniel Zimmett has some more information about why Stanford Robinson not playing in this game tonight.
I got to talk to Coach Farello of PVI about the suspension of Stan Robinson, the junior guard. He said it was a school situation in which he had to go in front of the academic council, and they were ruled that he had to be suspended 1 game for breaking a code of conduct. He said it was a big disappointment to the team and himself that he had to miss this game, but tonight they're going to be playing for him and to win this one for him tonight. Back to you.
Thank you, Daniel. So almost ready to go here at Verizon Center as the two teams will match up. Paul VI and Coolidge again. Some very good records. You look at it for Paul VI, 34-3 on the season and 18-0 in the WCAC, one of the best conferences in America. You're talking about high school basketball. On the other side of things, Coolidge, 29-6, 14-0 in the DCIAA, and both teams ranked in the All-Met Sports Top 20. Paul VI, the number 1 team, as I mentioned before. Coolidge, number 7. So this is some high-level basketball.
Absolutely. I mean, we were expecting a fantastic contest here tonight between these two teams. Really the best of the best. Even missing Stanford Robinson from 86 is a phenomenal. They're so deep. They have so many weapons.
And almost ready for our national anthem. The colors being presented at half court, and we'll take a quick break here at the Verizon Center for your national anthem. rendition of the national anthem in a wonderful way. Get things started here at the Verizon Center for the Abe Pollin City title games. Real quickly before we get into your starting lineup, Monica, I think one thing we have to point out with Coolidge, unlike Paul VI, who really just got done playing in the Alhambra tournament against DeMatha last week, Coolidge hasn't played in a while.
Well, that's exactly right. After winning the DCIAA, they have not had any games since then. It's been almost a month. This has been one of the latest Abe Pollin City title games that we have had, and so this team, it'll be interesting to see how they come out of the gates. They've certainly been practicing, scrimmaging, trying to stay fresh, but there's a big difference between a team that's played in 2 tournaments, like Paul VI, and a team that hasn't had any contest since their DCIAA title game, like Coolidge.
And let's go ahead and check in with the 4th member of our crew, Monica McNutt. And all right, starting lines being announced right now. We'll go ahead and get those to you in just a second. But again, you know, we talk about these 2 teams and really how they've got to this point. The win for Paul VI, they took home the regular season and tournament title in the WCAC, beating DeMatha. The Theodore Roosevelt, the win for Coolidge in their title game. Let's go back to Monica.
Guys, this is the first time that the Coolidge Colts have been back in this game in 26 years. So it's definitely big for this program. But for head coach Vaughn Jones, he played in this game 3 times at DeMatha when it was back at Cole Fieldhouse. He described the feeling of being back as a head coach as unbelievable and said his Colts have to take advantage of their matchup as far as speed is concerned if they want to be victorious tonight.
And thank you, Monica. And of course, we talked about the last time. Now, Paul VI, that game was last weekend, St. Patrick's Day, losing to DeMatha 71-56 in the Alhambra Catholic Invitational up in Frostburg. So you could almost say that they had to leave the D.C. area to get a win against the Stags to get a win against the Panthers.
Well, and I talked with Lindsey about that loss to DeMatha, and he said what you would expect him to say, which is it was really hard to beat a team 4 times in one season. Obviously, they would have loved to have defeated DeMatha again, but they defeated them 3 times this season, 2 times on buzzer beaters. That's how close those games were. And so, while they lost that game in the Alhambra tournament, that certainly won't get them fired up here tonight to play.
Now, on the other side of things, we talk about how these teams have gotten here. For Coolidge, their last time out, they went ahead and won against Theodore Roosevelt, beating 64 to 53 in the DCIA title game. Of course, like we mentioned, that game was back on February the 25th, so it's been a long time since this Coolidge team has been out on the court, though, as you told me before we got on the air. They've got more basketball to play after this.
Absolutely. Well, after this contest, they're going to play the National High School Invitational. And interestingly, Montrose Christian is also going to be playing in that event. So it could be a bit of a rematch from a game earlier this season, which was probably the biggest upset in the D.C. metro area this year when Coolidge defeated Montrose Christian. It was only a 2-point game. So it will be interesting to see what happens in that tournament. But on the other hand, for Paul VI, this is it for them. Their season will end tonight. The WCAC does not allow their team to play in the National High School Invitational, which is played in Georgetown Prep. And so certainly they want to leave it all out on the court tonight and get just one more W to cap off the season.
And now get to the starting lineups here for our matchup between Paul VI and Coolidge. Paul VI, the visitor tonight, wearing the black jerseys. They'll go ahead in their lineup. Start off with number 1, Tillman Dunbar, a 5'10 senior guard. Also at the guard spot, number 10, Patrick Holloway, 13.1 points per game. He's a verbal to George Mason, 6-foot senior guard. Also number 22, Jamal Robinson, 6'5 junior forward. Coleman Johnson in the front court as well, 6'6 senior forward, averaging almost 12 points per game. A verbal to Fairfield. Also Tim Higgins, your final member of the starting lineup. He's going to be wearing number 42 tonight. He's a verbal to Cornell. He's only a junior, 6'10", and a center, averaging 3.6 points per game. On the other side of things, for the Coolidge Colts, they come out in their gray uniforms, their home uniforms tonight. They'll be starting number 0, Omar Roberts, a 5'11 junior guard. Number 1, Deshaun Mormon, a 6'4 junior forward, averages 15.2 points per game. Also, Kalen Cumberlander, guy to watch, 17 points per game, 6'3" senior guard. Also in the starting lineup, number 15, Maurice Jeffers, 6'8" senior center. And the other spot, it'll be number 23, Jay Dade, a 6'5" junior forward. And we are ready to get underway here at the Verizon Center as the opening tap won by Paul VI. And we got some showtime to start things off.
Could not have been a better way for Paul VI to start off this game than for Jamal Robinson to have a dunk like that. Really gets the crowd into it. Jeremy, there are so many people here tonight to see this game.
And score again on the other side. So now 2-2 is our score. This one fast and furious in the contest.
Sean Mormon getting into the mix for Coolidge.
Got up and good there before Paul VI by Coleman Johnson.
There has been instant offense for both of these two teams, really coming out of the gate strong. And Jeremy, we talked about it, wondering how Coolidge would come out of the gates, considering the fact that they've been off for so long. But starting the game with a big bucket. And this jumper right there.
And he said a good start off for both sides. They've really gotten after it quickly into the front court with the ball for Paul VI. Dunbar dishes it off. And again, looking for some inside presence. The shot up from the good from the foul line. That one goes down for Johnson.
And Johnson has 4 points now. Paul VI doing a good job getting him the ball, working through the man-to-man defense. And now a turnover.
And taking the other way for Paul VI. Robinson. And quickly shot up. Now a dish. And another dunk for Paul VI. That'll be done by Tim Higgins. And a timeout for Coolidge. They don't like the way this one started off.
Absolutely not. What a dish by Tillman Dunbar, the unselfish play, setting up Tim Higgins. But right now, on offense, Paul VI is having their way. There has been nothing that Coolidge has been able to do to stop them. So a great sign for Paul VI. You can certainly tell that they've had 6 games since that WCAC title because they look like exactly as strong as they have been all season long.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that. You talked about it, and I think you said you can definitely see a difference between these two teams. And Paul VI looks like they're, again, in mid-season, postseason form, where Coolidge is almost like they've had another preseason to go through.
Well, that's exactly right. And I think, Jeremy, one other thing we have to talk about is just playing in this building, because there's really nothing that can replicate playing in the Verizon Center. This is where a lot of their heroes play. For the Washington Wizards, they see the pro teams come in here and play in this building. And it's a packed house, it's loud in here. It's going to take an adjustment. And so far, Paul VI has handled it really well.
That one out of bounds. It'll stay with Coolidge. The other thing, Monica, really have to think about is that shooter's background. We even see it doing games at bigger high school gyms, so these guys having to adjust to a place that is a professional venue as the shot is up and off the mark, and rebound grab by Paul VI. They'll take it the other way. Holloway into the front court, nice dish off, but taken away by Coolidge, and there'll be a one-man break as it'll be Moorman up, and he's fouled as he goes up. That one's going to go on Dunbar, I believe, and now Coolidge has a chance to get some points at the line.
We have to give Deshaun Moorman a lot of credit because you see how quickly Paul VI got down the floor on that last play. He was able to get down the court to break that up and to quickly get the ball up the floor. Now he's going to be rewarded with some free throw opportunities that his team desperately needs to calm them down a little bit right now.
Shot up, and this one will roll around, get all the rim, and go down for Moorman to make the score 8-3, Paul VI.
And of course, Coolidge right now shooting right in front of the student section for Paul VI. They called him the 6th man. They're one of the most vibrant student sections around this area. They come out to support their team. A lot of them have shown up tonight. And so for this first half, Coolidge will be facing them.
Paul VI up 8-4, make that 10-4. It's a nice move by the bucket by Patrick Holloway.
And again, Paul VI so efficient on offense. They just look very smooth right now, not at all bothered by the defense for Coolidge.
2 shots missed at point-blank range as Paul VI will look to add to their lead. A foul's going to be called in the front court. This one's going to go on number 23, Jay Dade, his first, with 5:40 left to go. Paul VI leading 10-4.
And Jeremy, when I talked with Glenn Ferrillo before the game, one thing he told me is that they want to play fast. And this pace so far has been very intense. Paul VI has been pushing the tempo. This is the tempo they want, and you can see what the results have been for the Panthers.
So now out front, it'll be taking the ball for Paul VI, Dunbar. Again, looking to set up a play. Really almost the first time we've seen a set play for Paul VI for the contest.
Absolutely. Otherwise, they've either been in transition or just pushing the tempo, trying to have an unsettled situation. But they're a turnover.
And the tempo being pushed by Coolidge. And another showtime dunk. Deshaun Mormon throws it down for two. And now a 10-6 Paul VI lead.
And that was a big emotional lift right there for Coolidge. They needed that play. And now once again, Paul VI going to be forced to set up their half-court offense.
Doesn't hurt him that time though. Monica is knocking it down. Patrick Holloway the three. 13-6 PVI.
Well, you can just see how balanced Paul VI is on offense.
And the other way, another bucket by Coolidge. Jay Day gets his first of the game.
And Jeremy, another thing, really both of these teams are pretty deep in the fact that they don't just rely on one score. And we've seen that so far, that both teams have been getting everyone involved. They've been getting point production out of a number of different people.
Well, brought back in by Coolidge. They trail PVI 13-6, 4:24 and rolling here in the first quarter. Shot is up from three. That gets nothing and a rebound for Paul VI.
And that is not the shot that Coolidge wanted right there. Instead, I think they wanted to set something up, really go for a high percentage shot. I think that Omar Roberts rushed that shot just a little bit. There's just no reason to settle for that shot right now.
Marcus Derrickson, wearing number 24, into the game for Paul VI. Panthers with it on the wing.
You see the man-to-man defense right now by Coolidge, really trying to pressure, and a great job by Deshaun Mormon getting his hands in the passing lanes.
And Mormon kind of grimaced after that. Wonder if he kind of hurt his thumb. We'll see how he shoots the rest of the contest. I think it was his offhand though. And ball going to be stolen away, and now on the ground fighting for it. A whistle blows. I want to remind you that for all your high school sports stories, game coverage, videos, photo galleries, and recruiting news, visit allmetsports.com, a product of the Washington Post. Allmetsports.com, every school, every sport, all the time. So it'll be Coolidge ball as they'll inbound trailing at 13-8, 3:39 left to go in the first quarter.
And Jay Dade right there was a little hunched over. It looked like he might have been trying to catch his breath. I mean, this pace has been so fast.
Again, Omar Roberts making it even quicker with that bucket there. Cuts it to 13-10, and Paul VI slows it down.
And I think Paul VI is the deeper team, so we'll see if this pace does become a factor.
Open, shot off the iron, no good, but the rebound pulled in by PVI. Shot is up, back iron, no good. Third straight shot up, and this one will not fall, and Coolidge finally pulls the rebound, but it'll be a tie-up. Possession arrow gives it over to Coolidge.
Well, Jeremy, one thing you can't afford to do is give Paul VI 3 opportunities, but they didn't convert on any of them. So for both of these two teams, one thing that Coolidge has to do better is rebound, get on the defensive glass, and then for Paul VI, when you get 3 opportunities, you have to knock one of them down.
Most definitely. Again, now Coolidge will inbound it. Just about 3 minutes left to go in our first quarter. 13-10. PVI, Paul VI over Coolidge. Into the front court, another new man in. This shot, nice dish off, and it will not fall. The nice pass, though, by Charles McDaniels. That's going to send, I believe, Maurice Jeffers to the line.
I really like what Charles McDaniels did on that play. He was very aggressive, driving in the lane, dishing. That's the type of high percentage shot that Coolidge is looking for, not that outside shot by Omar Roberts that scores unnecessary. Now, obviously, they need to knock down the three.
Back iron, no good for Jeffers. Of course, again, he's a verbal commit to Delaware, a 6'8 senior. Plays both the center and the power forward position.
Substitute coming into the game for the Colts right now. We've talked about that pace, so both teams' benches, I think, will be a factor. Trayvon Newell, the junior, coming into the contest for Kool-Aid.
Second shot, back iron as well. Rebound pulled in by Quadri Smith, and Paul VI will take it the other way, leading 13-10 over Coolidge. Just under 3 minutes to go in the first.
And again, you see Coolidge really pressuring with the man-to-man defense.
Another shot missed, and some of the long-range shooting having some problems in this bigger venue. Looking to drive the lane, taking it back.
I like the quick passing by Coolidge, trying to get the open man. It pays off.
No problem there as the shot knocked down by Cumberlander. And Glenn Farella has seen enough. He's going to take a timeout with our score tied up at 13 all, 2:23 left to go. And I tell you, Monica, it's almost like what we kind of talked about in the early going, that these two teams, obviously Paul VI was kind of ready to go in a matchup, had played in a little bit, kind of gave the first couple punches. Coolidge staggered, but they came right back.
Well, this is what we expected, because as we talked about, these are two champions squaring off. So I did not expect for Coolidge to be back on their heels for long. It took them a little while longer to adjust to this venue, perhaps to the magnitude of this contest. But now it's been Coolidge that really has been doing a nice job with their passing, getting the nice high percentage shot. And there you see that on the Paul VI bench, Stan Robinson not playing here today, and instead his number 13, being worn instead by Kevin Dorsey. But one thing about Stanford Robinson that I wanted to emphasize, because when I spoke with Glenn Farella before the game, one thing he wanted to make sure that was communicated is that this was really an uncharacteristic incident, that he is a great individual, an outstanding young man, feels very bad about this incident that happened. Paul VI completely stands behind him. And so while it's unfortunate, that was just the circumstance that happened.
And a double dribble there. And let's get an update from Daniel Zimmett.
Before the game, Coach Farella thought it was really important that the players knew their roles and when to take the right shots. He's not really happy right now with the speed at which they're getting down the court and pushing the ball up to the net. What he wants them to do is slow the ball down, get their correct shot, and be able to put the ball in the basket that way as opposed to rushing it. Back to you.
Thank you, Daniel. And again, our score tied at 13 all, 2 minutes left to go. Paul VI and Coolidge in the Abe Pollin City title games, WCAC versus the DCIAA. And remember, no shot clock in this contest. The WCAC plays with one. This one, though, will not be contested that way. That's a shot, going to be a foul, going to be called there. That'll go on Charles McDaniels, and that's going to go ahead and send PVI to the line. And remember, you can purchase a DVD with this broadcast at www.synthesisimp.com.
And on that last possession, you saw exactly what Daniel was talking about, that he heard Coach Farella talking about in the huddle. It was a very methodical half-court offense. They worked the ball around. They were looking for the shot opportunity that they wanted. And they got the trip to the free throw line. But again, Jamal Robinson, you have to knock down your free throws. This is a championship game. Jamal Robinson, a 64.7% free throw shooter, so he has had his struggles from the free throw line. But tonight, everything on the line, you have to knock him down.
Yeah, Kai knocked this second one down. Robinson trying to go ahead and give PVI the lead, and he does not. So again, the shooting woes continuing kind of for both sides as Coolidge quickly pushes it up the other way. Again, looking for their first championship city title since the 80s. Been a long time coming.
And here you see Paul VI giving a bit of zone look here. So Coolidge trying to break it with some outside shooting. It doesn't work.
Get knocked down, and now the other way quickly. PVI shot going to go up, no good. He follows, no good either. 2-on-1. Coolidge with the numbers, and another. It's going to look a little sloppy right now. Another steal by Paul VI, given right back to Coolidge. On the other end, a blocked shot. Fast and furious action, and now the Panthers take it the other way.
Well, Jeremy, I don't think either coach can be very happy right now, because right now, as you said, very sloppy play by both teams. Finally, Paul VI in that transition opportunity before Coolidge could set up their defense, they get the easy score.
And finally, Dunbar go ahead and breaking that ice we've seen for a while. And with just under 40 seconds left to go, it's PVI leading 15-13 over Coolidge. And on the baseline, no good once again. Could have been a foul, nothing called. And Dunbar will push the pace and more contact. And now we'll see a block called. And we'll go ahead and have a side out as neither team in the bonus yet.
And you have to knock down shots like that. Coolidge had a great opportunity and instead could not knock down the shot. They have allowed Paul VI to stretch this lead back out to 2.
Again, 15-13. It's Paul VI leading Coolidge with 27.7 left to go as Paul VI will inbound underneath their own basket. They're wearing the black while Coolidge in the gray and orange. The shot up foul line jumper, no good. Coolidge rebound. And now they will hold for the last shot, very likely.
Both teams have gone a bit cold on their shooting after this game got started off with so much high-octane offense. And again, some of that was the product of the pace at the time. The teams were getting opportunities in transition and really high percentage shots. But now the outside shooting has gone a little quiet.
at the end of one after we saw some very good play early on and some tough play later in the quarter. 15-13 is our score here at the Verizon Center. Again, you're watching this on allmetsports.com. Thanks so much for being with us. Again, Jeremy Huber, Monica Moore with you. Also, Daniel Zimmett, Monica McNutt, our sideline reporters. And Monica, as I said, really a very good start and kind of a scrappy, and that's kind of putting it kindly, end of the first quarter.
Well, it's really interesting, Jeremy, because I don't think you can chalk it up to jitters. Both of these teams came out. Paula Six was a bit stronger. Coolidge got back into this contest, but now they've just devolved into sloppy play. They've missed a lot of shot opportunities that they should have made, and so I think both coaches right now are just trying to calm their teams down and get them back to fundamentals, to basic basketball. Again, these are two stellar teams, and this is not what they normally look like when they're playing basketball.
Yeah, you talk about how stellar they are. Again, both of these teams went through conference and league play undefeated, 18-0 for Paul VI. That included three wins over DeMatha, the second-ranked team in the area, also a nationally ranked team. Also Paul VI ranked nationally as well. Coolidge 14-0 in the DCIAA, again 29-6 on the season, so they've really been able to get it done. For all your high school sports stories, game coverage, video, photo galleries, and recruiting news, visit allmetsports.com, a product of the Washington Post. Allmetsports.com, every school, every sport, all the time. Again, 15-13 here at the start of the second quarter as Paul VI leads Coolidge here in the Abe Pollin City title game.
Well, and really, when you talk about how great these two teams are, I mean, I think a lot of people think that Paul VI is the favorite coming into this contest, even without Stanford Robinson out on the floor. But then you look at a team like Coolidge. We've already talked about the fact they defeated Montrose Christian during the season. They defeated Riverdale Baptist. Those were huge wins for this program. They are legit.
And a score there by Coleman Johnson. He'll put it down and give the Panthers now a 4-point lead, 17-13.
And that was a great look for Paul VI coming out of the break between the first quarter and the second quarter. Exactly what they needed to do. They got a great offensive possession to start the quarter and set the tone.
Missed there, but pulled back in by Coolidge. Shot up, and again a miss. So three good looks, and now maybe a fourth good look as the Colts track that one down.
Again, we talked about this for Coolidge. Now for Paul VI, you have to get on the glass. You can't give that many opportunities. And now for Coolidge, how many shot opportunities back to back to back do they miss?
And a shot the other way, some contact. They'll call that one a block. That has a chance for a three-point play by Coleman Johnson, who's getting after it early in this contest. Got him down for 8 points so far.
Absolutely. Coleman Johnson came out of the gate really strong here tonight. He had a couple of quick baskets to help Paul VI establish their lead. And now the opportunity for a three-point play. But he's another player who's had his struggles from the free throw line. He shoots about 61% from the line. So a bit of an Achilles heel for some of these players for Paul VI is the free throw shooting.
Let's see if they can correct that here. As again, Johnson will go to the line looking to give Paul VI a 7-point lead. He does. Now 20-13. PVI on top of Coolidge. Exactly 7 minutes left to go in the quarter. As we'll go ahead and as Coolidge brings it up. And we'll throw it over to Daniel Zimmett.
In between quarters, Coach Farella was telling his team now he wants them to drive inside and take a jump stop in the lane and then make a basket underneath. He wants them to limit the shots on the outside and start working it to the big men now on the inside to get those nice, easy layups. Back to you.
Thank you, Daniel. And ball will be turned over again by Paul VI. So Coolidge with it with a chance to go ahead and because of this 7-point lead that Paul VI currently holds.
But Von Jones right now, Jeremy, cannot be happy because Coolidge is not getting the best opportunities on offense that they could get. They're taking shots that I think are ill-advised. Right there, taking it straight at Coleman Johnson.
That one not ill-advised, though. A nice dish off on the score will be Cumberlander, and the lead back down to 5 for PVI.
Right now, Coolidge needs to go back to what was working so well for them, the quick passing, trying to set someone up with a good open look. Excuse me.
And again, now Coolidge into a zone. Paul VI showed it earlier, but this time Paul VI gets through it as another ball basket by Johnson.
Johnson is having a phenomenal game so far star for Paul VI. Again, the Fairfield recruit really coming to play tonight. The senior, his last contest for Paul VI.
Nice dish by Holloway down the post, but the Panthers kick it back out.
And that was a smart play right there by Jamal Robinson. He was well defended, giving it up.
Rebound pulled in by Coolidge. They'll push it the other way, trailing by 7. Thought about the 3, and now a drive, and it's going to be a walk called there. It's too many steps by McDaniels.
So lots of substitutes coming into the game. Again, the pace early was so frenetic. Both coaches have been going to their benches trying to get some fresh legs into the contest.
You mentioned that. Those fresh legs, looking for those so far in the contest, and really, you know, we've kind of started to see some of these guys actually looking like they're getting a little bit ragged. I mean, Coleman Johnson obviously playing very well, but I just saw him over there kind of putting the hands on the hips and taking a couple deep breaths.
Absolutely. Some of these players do seem winded right now, so it certainly could become a factor, particularly in the fourth quarter. We talked about free throw shooting. When you're tired, it is hard to knock down free throws.
Both teams already having some trouble with that in the game. Can't imagine if they get winded. Now PVI up 22 to 15, and the shot airballed and missed, and the Panthers take it the other way.
And right now, Coolidge has just gone ice cold, really struggling right now to get anything going other than close-range shots. Their shooting from the perimeter has been abysmal for the last few minutes.
And the unforced error right there is Holloway went and tried to go behind the back and dribbled it out of bounds, and very quickly Coach Farello gets him out of the game. Maybe trying to send a little message there.
Perhaps. I think right now, just both coaches trying to find anything that's working.
And now looks like we have a clock issue, so they'll go ahead and I believe just didn't start the clock.
So the officials will try to sort this out. They've done a great job so far in this contest, keeping everything under control.
And so they have got the clock issue fixed. Actually took 4 seconds off, I believe, so Coolidge will have it. At that time on the clock, trailing by 7. Thought about the 3, no 3 there. And a shot from the corner, that one around and out, no good. Tap back, no good. Third chance, Coolidge scores it with Jeffers hitting the boards there and cutting the lead down to 5.
And again, you have to get on the defensive glass. Paul VI gave Coolidge too many opportunities, and that time the tip in for Coolidge, able to put 2 more points on the scoreboard.
And that 5-point lead. Paul VI leading 22 to 17 over Coolidge. And kicked it out, looking again, kick it out again. Paul VI being patient as they go ahead and put a shot up. Second shot up, and then get this one to go as the big man inside, Quadri Smith, scores it.
Paul VI got great ball movement out of that last possession, and it paid off. It's something that Coach Farello has been talking about. As Daniel told us, he was looking for his team to be a bit slower, a bit more methodical, getting the shot that they wanted, and we've seen that change in the Panthers.
A nice dish inside, a nice turnaround jumper by Jay Dade to score it.
You see the athleticism of Jay Dade on that play, and again, just talking about the balance for both of these two teams. They have lots of offensive weapons amongst them, so a lot of different players contributing early in this first half.
Paul VI leading at 24 to 19 in our contest, and a quick kick out, looking, and a dish, actually going to put it up and block. Great play by Coolidge there. Ball goes out of bounds. It'll stay with Paul VI. Remember, for all your high school sports stories, game coverage, videos, photo galleries, and recruiting news, visit allmetsports.com, a product of the Washington Post. Allmetsports.com, every school, every sport, all the time. And let's go ahead and get an update from our other side reporter, Monica McNutt.
Guys, one of Coach Von Jones' keys when we talk pregame were rebounding and defending. In that first quarter, his team was out-rebounded by 5, but he doesn't seem displeased with his team's effort. He focused largely on the X's and O's of the game. He wants his team to attack and penetrate to take advantage of the gaps.
Thank you much, Monica. And Paul VI trying to get that one in. Good play by Coolidge to knock it out of bounds. So now we'll go to the other side of the basket as the Panthers will go ahead and look to inbound it with a 5-point lead here. There's just over 3 minutes left to go in the second quarter.
Well, Monica emphasizing the rebounding, and clearly Von Jones realizing how important that is as well, because both teams have had their struggles on the defensive glass, giving way too many offensive opportunities to the opposing team. So I imagine that will certainly be one thing that these two coaches are going to talk about at halftime.
Can't imagine the shooting percentage are good even with the extra chances. And going to be an over the back there. It'll be Jeffers trying a little too overzealously on the rebound to go ahead and put that one back.
Just a 5-point contest. It seemed like Paul the Six has had the momentum. They've been able to get a little bit more going on offense once they slowed things down, really worked the ball around, got everyone involved on offense. But the good news for Coolidge, despite some of their offensive shooting woes, they're only down by 5 right now.
And a quick shot, they're going to make that 7 as a nice short-range jumper for Robinson to make the score 26-19 in favor of Paul the Sixth.
And again, I think that Coach Clint Ferrello has to be really happy with how his players have responded to the message that he's been giving them on offense.
A miss and quickly take the other way. Holloway, who's back in the game after that short time on the bench. 3-point look, that one's going to miss everything but the rebound, and now they'll go ahead and say a turnover. Belize stepped on the end line.
A bit unfortunate there for Paul the Six. Again, a big offensive rebound, but then they turn the ball right over. The offensive rebounding numbers, Jeremy, I think are going to be really high for this first half because both teams have really been fighting for those extra opportunities.
And a lot of contact, no foul called, and it'll be Paul the Sixth ball. Dish and looking for the up and under. Showtime move for Tillman Dunbar. What a play.
That's the bread and butter right there for Paul the Six. Pushing in transition, being able to finish. It gets the crowd into it. And Paul the Six extending this lead.
That lead out to now 28-19 in favor of PVI, looking to make it more. And the alley-oop, and they can't convert it, but the putback is there. Derrickson and a timeout for Coolidge. Ron Jones is seated up as we now see an 11-point lead. Paul the Six leading at 30-19 with 1:27 left to go before the half.
And again, Jeremy, it was the offensive rebounding. Paul the Six missed that dunk opportunity, but then a player was there, got the offensive rebound and the putback. They've done a great job cleaning up the glass on the offensive end, and they've been smarter on offense right now.
And right now, the Paul the Six crowd, we're getting into it, kind of slowed down just a little bit. But you mentioned it, Monica, as we looked at that crowd shot, it's pretty amazing. That's better than I've seen a lot of colleges have.
Absolutely. The sixth man, again, as they call them, the Paul the Six the student section, they come out, they support this club. They've had so much to cheer about. And again, Jeremy, we've talked so much about it. This has been a historic year for Paul the Six. So for these students, this is really exciting for them. They would love to win a city title championship.
Now you talk about historic year for Paul the Sixth, a school that's only been open since 1983, and actually the building that houses Paul the Sixth actually was originally owned by George Mason University. And the funny thing is, our executive producer, BJ Cooperulis, a George Mason graduate, asked him before the game, never heard of it. Just completely shocked. I said, and I was actually there for 2 years. I was there for 2, you were there for 4. I would think you would remember, but obviously, as you can tell, BJ had the hands up, doesn't remember ever hearing that story over on the campus in Fairfax. So Coolidge will look to cut this thing back under 10 points, 11-point lead it is, 30-19, shot from three-point range, and that's a good way to do it. Omar Roberts with the long-range trifecta.
Absolutely, he averages 5.7 points per game. That was a big three right there by Omar Robinson. Then Coolidge gets the steal. That was a great timeout call right there by Vaughn Jones.
They're trying for the shot again, it doesn't go down for the save, and athletic play there by Johnson to not let it go off his leg. Quickly the other way, shot up, no good, knocked around, and Paul the Sixth comes back with it. Shot again, another close point-blank range miss, and again they finally get it to drop. Jamal Robinson able to score that one.
And again, Jeremy, it's offensive rebounding. Paul the Sixth had 3 opportunities on that possession. You can't give them 3 opportunities.
And that time down, the ball goes out of bounds off Mormon, and it'll be 32-22. Coolidge trailing by 10 at 38.9 left to go. All right, put your coaching hat on, Monica. Going last shot here. You're Paul the Sixth. You go ahead and push it, maybe try and get a quick score.
Well, for Paul the Sixth, they do have the luxury of being up by 10, but this game far from over. I think right now the thing that Paul the Sixth wants the most is a good, high percentage shot. And Coolidge, their shooting woes just continue. Unlike Paul the Sixth, who has really gotten into a settled half-court offense, Coolidge has not been able to do so, and that is why Paul the Sixth has been able to stretch this lead out to double digits.
32-22. about 15 seconds left and rolling. Paul the Six look like they'll take the last shot unless they get an open look quicker. That one's going to be blocked. Rebound pulled in. Fought for, and now Coolidge comes up with it. So the Colts have a chance if they push to go ahead and cut this under 10 at the end of the half. They put it up, no good, but a foul is going to be called. And I believe that's going to go ahead and send Cumberlander to the line with a chance to shoot two with no time left on the clock.
Big free throws here coming up for Cumberlander because, as you said, these free throws could make this a single-digit basketball game once again. And just from a mental standpoint, that's a huge difference heading into halftime, particularly because the shooting percentage for Coolidge has been so low during this first half. They need to make some adjustments on offense when they come into the second half, and then, of course, also defensively, rebounding.
Cumberlander looking for his second. The crowd trying to go ahead and get in his head, get him to miss two, and this one will hit a whole lot of iron and fall out. So the lead will not go under 10 points at the half, as it's 32 to 22. Paul the Sixth leading Coolidge, and I guess very quickly, as Daniel Zimmett about to go ahead and talk to head coach Glenn Farello, really has been a pretty well played, and it comes to pace, but really the shooting has gone ahead and left something to be desired in our contest so far. Let's go ahead and get a quick update with Daniel Zimmett, who's with Glenn Farello.
I'm standing here with Coach Farello of the Paul the Sixth Panthers. Coach, can you talk about kind of the pace in the first half? Was it what you wanted to see?
Yeah, I think both teams like to play fast. It's definitely what we like to do. And Tillman Delmar did a great job of pushing the tempo. We got some easy baskets in transition, and I think we've done a good job rebounding.
What do you need to do to continue this lead and pull it out in the end?
Yeah, I think it comes down to what's going to happen on the offense and defensive glass, and also the shot takes. You know, we got to make sure we take good shots. Shot selection is going to be really important. We have to keep driving the ball to the basket. See if we can't create some more instead of relying on a jump shot.
All right, good luck in the second half, Coach. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Daniel. And again, our score, Coach Farello's got to be happy at least with what we have here, a 10-point lead for Paul the Sixth as they lead Coolidge 32 to 22 here at the half. And I guess, Monica, really, we talked about it, the pace very fast early on in the contest. It got kind of sloppy, and really, I don't think it ever really recovered with the two teams where we've seen so many point-blank shots missed in this game.
Well, I think that's exactly right. It really is going to be interesting to see those statistics at halftime in terms of shooting percentage. But you have to credit Paul the Sixth because they were a team that was able to settle things down a bit. You heard Coach Farello talk a little bit about that. He talked about shot fakes. He wants good high-percentage shots for his team in the second half. Now, for Coolidge, on the other hand, the thing that they have to do, they really have to settle down on offense. They can't just settle for those perimeter shots. They have not been falling down. Instead, they need good passing. They need to get someone open. And then you also heard Coach Farello talk about the glass. Defensively, offensively, both of these two teams want to hit it harder. I think that's going to be the big difference maker in this championship game, that and free throws.
And we'll see if all that can happen in the second half. We'll take a quick break. We'll come on back and get you second half action. 32 to 22. Paul the Sixth leads Coolidge at the half in the 2012 Boys A. Poland City title game. And welcome back to the Verizon Center. 32-22 our score at the half as Paul VI leads Coolidge in our Abe Pollin DC City title game. Jeremy Huber, Monica Moore with you. And look at our stats from the first half, as really it's kind of a little bit of the Coleman Johnson show for Paul VI. He has 9 points in the first half, a lot of them early on, a lot of them point blank looks. On the other side of things, actually also staying with Paul VI, Patrick Holloway's got 5. Jamal Robinson, a good game so far with 8 so far. Leading scorer for Coolidge, Deshaun Moorman, he has 6 points so far in the contest. A couple guys with 5, Kalen Cumberlander and Omar Roberts. But I think maybe, Monica, the big stat of the half may just be those shooting percentages. Not great for Paul VI. Actually, okay for Paul VI. Not good at all for Coolidge.
I think that's exactly right. It has been abysmal for Coolidge. Their first half shooting percentage, 30%. They shot 22.2% from behind the arc. And Paul VI, they shot 18.6%. So a little bit better, as you said. And that was a huge story for Coolidge. Also the rebounding. We talked so much about that. Paul VI leading in that category. 22 total rebounds in the first half for the Panthers compared to 14 for Coolidge. And then the final stat that you want to talk about, points in the paint. Paul VI, 26 points in the paint compared to Coolidge's 14. But Jeremy, you were talking about the point scoring and particularly Coleman Johnson stepping up. That was the question. Stanford Robinson out of the game. He's their leading scorer. Last year, Patrick Holloway scored a lot more points, and in his sophomore season he did as well. But he stepped back this year to try to get the team more chemistry. Stanford Robinson was the one that stepped up. So that was the question. Who's going to step into that role tonight? And so far, you're exactly right. It was Coleman Johnson.
Yeah, Johnson with that big game so far, and obviously he's got a verbal offer to Fairfield. And actually, in one of the previews, it was kind of catch up on the game with our own BJ Cooperulis and Josh Barr of the Washington Post, talking about Coleman Johnson, a kid who really may have been able to get a better offer somewhere, but kind of committed early, kind of went with Fairfield earlier on, and really has kind of blossomed into a better player, but really showing how good he is tonight.
I think that's exactly right. I think a lot of people think that if he held out, it might have turned out differently, but it's a great opportunity for him to go and play at Fairfield. So many players off this Paul VI team going to play at the next level. It really tells you the caliber of team they are. Here's something else that tells you the caliber of team that they are. In the past 50 years, the only team that has gone undefeated in the WCAC is DeMatha, but this year Paul VI does it. I mean, it is hard competition, and that tells you the caliber of the season they're having.
Quick shot up and a little bit influenced there, I believe, by Tim Higgins. And Paul VI with it, looking to go ahead and add to their 10-point lead, 32-22. PVI on top of Coolidge, just underway here in the second half.
Well, the shooting woes continuing for Coolidge early on in this second half. Meanwhile, again, you heard Glenn Ferrillo talk about the fact that he didn't want his team to slow it down a bit on offense, and another offensive rebound on the shot. Another
big play by Jamal Robinson. That's going to be his 8th point of the game, and makes the lead 12, 34-22.
Well, and we have talked a lot about Coleman Johnson, but there's been some balance on offense for Paul VI. They really have gotten contributions from a lot of different people, and now the fast break opportunity.
And another great finish by Tillman Dunbar to score and make the lead 14.
And right now, Coolidge back on their heels right now. Paul VI has started out this second half much like they started off the first half, which is on fire. And Coolidge struggling to get anything going. And again, you heard Coach Ferrillo talk about the rebounding. His team getting it done defensively rebounding.
And almost had someone in our lap as we go ahead and send it over to Daniel Zimmel, the special guest.
I'm here with new Redskins wide receiver Josh Morgan. Josh, first of all, welcome to Washington. Welcome to the Redskins organization. Can you talk about the free agency process and how you ended up here?
Man, the free agency process is basically like going to college and get recruited all over again, man. It was very exciting and everything. And, I'm just glad that the Redskins came together, man, bring me back home so I could do my thing for my city, man.
What are you feeling like your role is going to be on the team next season?
Basically catch the ball and get in the end zone. Basically, just go out there, do my job, catch the ball, get in the end zone as much as possible, man. Whatever quarterback you end up getting, man, just work with him because, you're going to be a rookie. I guess they consider me a vet because I've been in the game for 4 years, man. But just do whatever we need to do to bring the win, get as many wins as possible, man. Because the more wins you get, that's going to lead you to the playoffs and in the Super Bowl. But, we just did the same thing when I was in San Francisco. So, we got to play copycat and do it here.
Now, you talk about bringing in a new quarterback. What do you think of Robert Griffin III, and would you like to see him come here?
can't really call it, man. That's up to the people upstairs in the Redskins organization. But I mean, they made a lot of moves to get a quarterback, so we just don't know which one it's going to be.
Well, good luck this season, and thanks for joining us. Back to you.
Thank you, Daniel. And Jay Dade knocking down that first free throw, looks to do it again, and he will. So Dade now with 6 points and the lead back down 36-23.
Again, you talk about free throws, but it was really deflating for Coolidge to end the first half with Kalen Cumberland missing both of those free throws.
A wide open layup there missed. A little bit of an influence, but not much as Dade missed it. And now Paul VI looking to add. Nice dish there and shot almost blocked. Still powering up. Pulled back in by Holloway. He'll put it off the glass. Follow dump, no good. And now other way goes Coolidge. Looking for some showtime. Put it up off the glass. Get that one to go down. And a timeout going to be called by Paul VI.
And again, that was a lot of opportunities that Paul VI had on the offensive end. Not able to convert. I think one thing that Glenn Perillo wants to talk about again is just high percentage shot opportunities. And then quickly the other way, you saw the Colts go and be able to score. And now they've cut this lead back to 11 again. And I think Coach Perillo just doesn't want Coolidge to get some momentum right now.
You talk about looking for those high percentage looks and getting better shots. I think at least, and it happened on that possession there, a few times this game we've seen guys go for those follow slams, which would seemingly be pretty good percentage looks, but they're just not going down. I mean, but you're right, on the other side of things, really, Coolidge is having the same type of problems, if not more so. You pointed out the perfect stat. I remember during the halftime, we were looking over the stat sheet, and you kind of circled that one in red ink, almost like a teacher. Like that one, we got to put the F right there. Not a way to win a game shooting that low. Hopefully Coolidge can pick that up here in the second half.
Absolutely, but their shooting woes have continued in the second half, and so that is certainly something that is going to continue to be a focus for head coach Vaughn Jones.
Well, Paul VI looking to inbound it against a little bit of Coolidge pressure. Full court, but not kind of that almost amoeba pressure there as they will go ahead and break it. Panthers now lose the ball coming from behind Roberts to make the steal. He'll push it the other way and pull up jumper from the wing. That one's going to be good. So the lead cut again by Cumberlander's Deuce.
And one thing that can turn games around is if your defense feeds your offense. And that's what we saw on that last possession, the big-time defensive play by Omar Roberts. And then Cumberlander able to convert on offense, a big defensive rebound out in transition.
And getting it to roll in, a nice roll by Cumberlander. Again scores it. Now the lead down to 7, 36-29. PBI still on top.
And now the Coolidge student section, they're a little smaller than Paul VI, but starting to get into this contest. Finally, they have something to cheer about because Kalen Cumberlander getting things going. He averages 17 points per game. And look at the defense of Coolidge. The defense making a difference.
And the defense leads the offense as Cumberlander scores. And another Paul VI timeout. And folks, we got a 5-point game. 36-31 with 4:35 left to go in the third quarter. And to talk about it, Paul VI, again, just like the first quarter, they get off to the good start, stagger Coolidge. Coolidge comes right back.
Well, again, the story for Coolidge is the defense. Their defense is feeding the offense. And then they have a player averaging 17 points per game, Kalen Cumberlander. He has scored 3 back-to-back baskets. All of a sudden, the Coolidge fans started to get back into this one. Coolidge starting to believe. I mean, again, this is a team. They beat Montrose Christian. They beat Riverdale Baptist. They can win big-time contests. They are no stranger to games of this magnitude. And I think everyone expected Coolidge was going to put together a run back in this one.
Remember, for all your high school sports stories, game coverage, videos, photo galleries, and recruiting news, visit allmetsports.com, a product of the Washington Post. Allmetsports.com, every school, every sport, all the time. Let's get another update with Monica McNutt.
Guys, Coach Jones is staying impressively poised right now. And that last time out, he was very deliberate. He gave his team a very specific play to run and a defense to run and said it will work. They've trusted him, they believed in him, and they've certainly cut into this lead.
And Monica would know a little something about poised coaches. Obviously, she's seen some very good ones over at Georgetown. Very good part of some very good Georgetown women's teams.
Talk about poised coaches. Terry Williams-Flanoy, one of the best in the business. She coached Monica at Georgetown. And I think right now, Vaughn Jones has to be really happy because his team is executing and getting it done defensively. That's what coaches love to see.
So Paul the Sixth looking to break this Coolidge run, and they do it there with a three-pointer by Patrick Holloway to make the lead back at 8.
Well, again, Holloway's the star. He stepped back this year. He doesn't put it down offensively, but he can clear out, shoot the basketball.
Now a foul going to be called on Paul the Sixth. That's going to go ahead and send Mormon to the line, and it looks like the foul going to be called on Dunbar. I believe that's his second.
And again, free throw is going to be key in this contest. Coolidge has done a good job. They cut the lead to 5, but now the deficit is back to 8. So these are big free throws coming up here for Deshaun Mormon.
So Mormon averaging 15, a little over 15 points on the season, and looking to go ahead and put 2 in his ledger right here as he hits the first free throw.
Certainly Deshaun Mormon is a D1 prospect, is going to get a lot of interest. A big player for Coolidge, one of their big guns, along with Kalen Cumberlander and Maurice Jeffers, who's going to Delaware.
So Mormon for his second. That one will go down as well. So the lead is back down to 6, 39-36. Paul the Sixth over Coolidge.
Right now you see the defensive intensity of Coolidge. Paul the Sixth sticking with it though.
And a play by Johnson there. He'll score it again to go ahead and gets the foul. I believe that one's going to go on Mormon. His second foul. And remember, to purchase a copy of this broadcast, you can do it at www.synthesismp.com. Shot will go up, and the three-point play will not be completed. And fight for the ball, and this will be the referees looking at each other, and they will give the ball to Coolidge.
Right there for Coolidge, getting possession here. Paul the Sixth just continues to not let Coolidge get any closer. Now Coolidge down by 8.
41-33. It's under 4 minutes left to go in the third quarter. As the shot missed, a little air ball action to get the chance from the Paul the Sixth student section. And the pull-up jumper will go off the back iron, no good. But right there for the rebound will be Derrickson, and he'll have a chance to shoot 2.
And Tillman Dunbar rushed that last shot. He was a bit off balance. Luckily for him, his team has been really effective on the glass. Marcus Derrickson going to head to the free throw line. Perhaps something that Dunbar's talking over as he headed over to the sideline to talk with Coach Ferrillo really briefly.
Derrickson hitting the first, and we'll go ahead and shoot one more. A couple subs into the game now for Paul the Sixth. Now into the contest, Kevin Dorsey. I believe coming in for Coolidge, Charles McDaniels. Referee checking Derrickson for blood on the elbow, and he doesn't see anything, so he goes ahead and lets him shoot the second free throw here. And that one in and good, so the lead is back out to 10 points, 43-33 in favor of PVI.
And I think Paul the Sixth really responded very well. Coolidge was going on a run, and now you see Paul the Sixth poised again, getting it done defensively, letting their defense be their offense.
A wonderful scoop lay-in by Dorsey. His first points of the game, and now back up to a 12-point lead. Runner in the lane, that one no good, and the rebound by Paul the Sixth, and the Panthers starts to smell like they might be on the beginning of a run here.
Well, that's exactly right. It's really, the second half so far has really mirrored the first half. You made the point earlier, Jeremy. It's a great point that Paul the Sixth started off strong. Coolidge had the run, but then Paul the Sixth with the recovery.
Coolidge really a big possession for them here as they trail by 12. They had that lead down to 5 at one point here in the second half, and Paul the Sixth has run it right back out. And the ball inbounded into Dunbar, and the offense will start up. And the pull-up jumper will round it out, no good, and Coolidge with the rebound.
Patrick Holloway was pounded on that possession. Again, credit Coolidge on defense. Really one big difference maker for them that I've seen in the second half. I do think their defense has picked up a notch.
And again, the freshman Dorsey able to score it, and now the lead up to 14 points, 47-43.
But again, not a lot you can do on those transition opportunities. Paul the Sixth, they have the speed, they have the athleticism. And so So right now, Coolidge needs to go back to good passing and getting a high percentage shot right here.
A lot of contact there, nothing called. And they'll say eventually that Coolidge steps on the end line, the ball over to Paul VI. So really starting to get a little bit ragged and not benefiting Coolidge.
I think that's right. Things are starting to get a little out of hand for Coolidge. But it was their defense that got them back in this contest, and that's what they need to rely on right now. They need really strong defense. They need to be aggressive. They need to get their hands in the passing lane. As you see them here setting up a little pressure on this inbounds play.
Again, it's not that really in-your-face pressure, but getting in the passing lanes and hoping for some steals. The runner again up and no good. Can't get the teardrop to go. Coolidge ball as they'll take it the other way.
And I think the pressure paid off in that it forced a shot there for Paul VI.
And another great dish and cannot finish it. And then the other way, Dorsey can't hold on to it. And it'll be back over to Coolidge. Remember, for all your high school sports stories, game coverage, videos, photo galleries, and recruiting news, visit allmetsports.com, a product of the Washington Post, allmetsports.com. Every school, every sport, all the time. Again, our score 47-33. Paul VI, the champion of the WCAC, leading the DCIAA champion, Coolidge, 47-33, and they are put back up and in. So the score there cut it down to 12.
Deshaun Mormon doing a nice job there sticking with the play. The first shot didn't go down. He got his own rebound, had the putback.
And now the big man Derrickson taking the three, can't get it to go down. And Coolidge with a chance to get this thing back to 10 or under. Three-pointer from the corner is good, and a timeout will be called by Vaughn Jones as the three-pointer stuck by Charles McDaniels. His first points of the game, and now a 9-point lead for Paul VI.
Exactly. It is back down to single digits. Coolidge doing a nice job. You saw that pressure. They forced Paul VI to take a shot they didn't want. Coolidge converts on the offensive end. They stick with it. They get the play. And then the big-time three-pointer. That's a big momentum swing right there for Coolidge.
And a high arcing three-point shot there for Mr. McDaniels, as I forget our names, Jeremy Huber, Monica Moore here with you at Verizon Center for the 2012 Boys Abe Poland City title game. Paul VI and Coolidge facing off. Been a pretty good game so far, though has had its ragged spots for sure.
Absolutely, and you've had the sense that Paul VI really has had the edge in this contest the entire time. They've been in the driver's seat. They've been able, for the most part, to set the tone and the tempo that they've wanted, and they just had too much offensive firepower. We talked about the shooting percentage. Really, Coolidge shot themselves in the foot, so to speak, because they could not hit anything in the first half, that 30% or so shooting percentage, and now they're trying to dig themselves out of that hole, and perhaps it was too big of a hole. We'll have to wait and see, because Paul VI, every time Coolidge gets close, they're able to extend the lead once again.
Yeah, you know, and Coolidge would make that run, and as you said, Paul VI brings it back out, so we'll see eventually can Coolidge go ahead and cut this thing and then keep the game where it is. So far for Paul VI, leading scorer for them, it's been Coleman Johnson. A nice game tonight so far with 11 points. And a foul going to be called in the corner as Coolidge went for some traps, actually tried to turn that pressure up just a little bit, and the foul gets called, so Paul VI will inbound underneath the Coolidge basket.
And I know Vaughn Jones is not happy with the foul right there, but this is exactly what his team needs to do. Certainly the call from the bench, this pressure that Coolidge is applying. They think that their defense will force turnovers and lead to quick points offensively, but what you don't want is back-to-back cheap fouls so far away from the basket. Later in the game, this could come back to haunt them.
This one, they're going to end up getting a turnover off that. I believe the walk called for Paul VI, and sometimes this is what that pressure will do, not just the turnovers by stealing balls, but also go ahead and get a guy to shuffle his feet, especially at the high school level. Three-pointer, long one, that's going to miss everything and goes out of bounds, so maybe Roberts a little bit had some opening, but probably should have brought it in a little closer.
I think that's exactly right. You saw Roberts, he looked the first time, he passed the ball, they passed it back to him. He was looking to take that three-pointer, but again, could have stepped in a little closer, didn't have to take that shot, and what Coolidge doesn't want right now is wasting offensive possessions.
So Paul VI back with it, leading 47-38 here in the third quarter. Minute 10 and rolling left to go in the period. Paul VI breaking pressure. And flop there, nothing called, and a nice dish, and up and off the glass, it's good. Kevin Dorsey, the freshman, with a great second half, 6 so far, and the lead back out to 11.
But credit Jamal Robinson, he created that play. He had the assist, driving in the lane. His defender fell down. He set up that play.
And that one up and good for Mormon again, so he got a nice game going. And the ball contest back down to 49-40, so a 9-point lead. And under and a trap in the corner, ball taken away. A jump ball be called. Possession arrow keeps it with Paul the Sixth, but that pressure kind of starting to turn up just a little bit.
Absolutely, and that's exactly what Coolidge wants to do right now. That was a great double team. They tie up the ball. Unfortunately for them, the possession does stay with Paul the Sixth, but that's a big lift and really emphasizes to them how much this defensive pressure can help turn things around.
Good job here by Paul the Sixth. They've got a chance for the 2-on-1 and foul from behind, as Robinson might have been looking for the slam dunk, but instead it's a foul on the play as they go ahead and they'll send it for 2 to the line. And we have the Paul the Sixth folks with a little bit of an advertisement, I guess we should say.
If you want to get on camera, that's the way to do it.
With us,
right
yes.
There, absolutely. So, Sixth-Man reads the post. I hope they also watch the live streams on WashingtonPost.com. So maybe they should amend their sign to say we read WashingtonPost.com.
Well, I tell you what, I think we got record crowds tonight watching us, and we thank every single one of you for being with us here at the Verizon Center for both the city title matchups. The first shot missed by Robinson. He'll take a chance at a second. And this one is up, and that one misses as well, but the rebound and a blocked shot. Ball knocked around, and this will be I think, a good call there as the ball went off the Coolidge player's leg, and it'll stay with Paul the Sixth.
But again, I think you credit the Coolidge defensive intensity right now. They have really turned it up a notch. Yet again, we saw this happen in the first half as well, and this is exactly what Coolidge needs to do. They haven't been rewarded so far for those big plays because the jump ball, the possession error with Paul the Sixth. Here the ball stays with Paul the Sixth. But just continuing to apply this defensive intensity is going to pay dividends and help them cut into this 9-point lead.
Now Orion Nikolai in the game for the Panthers. As the ball batted around, goes almost in the backcourt. I got to call a push there, and probably not a smart foul by Cumberlander, as it looked that maybe Dorsey may have even been ready to go into the backcourt on his own.
Well, I was thinking the exact same thing, and I was thinking finally the defensive pressure is going to pay off for Coolidge, and instead they get another foul charged against them. So now 3 team fouls in this second half for Coolidge. 5 team fouls for Coolidge.
Under 5 here in the quarter. Will Paul the Sixth get a shot off? They will from 3. Around out, no good. Put back, no good at the buzzer. So Coolidge dodges a bullet there as Paul the Sixth had the open 3, and then the putback couldn't get either one of them to go down, but they still lead at 49-40 at the end of 3 periods.
And as soon as that shot didn't fall, I looked over at Glenn Frillo. He had a smile on his face. He couldn't believe it. His team, a couple of good opportunities. They just couldn't knock it down. That's exactly what they wanted to do at the end of this third quarter. They got the look. It just didn't fall for them, but they're up by 9, and they want to just continue to do what they've been doing so well in this contest, which is get the shot opportunities that they've wanted.
Yeah, and really, it's been Paul the Sixth getting more of their opportunities to fall down. That's kind of been the story of the game so far. Like we said, both teams kind of playing a bit ragged, but a little bit more from Paul the Sixth in our contest. Jeremy Huber, Monica Moore with you courtside here at Verizon Center for the Abe Pollin City title games. Again, it's Paul the Sixth out of the WCAC leading 49-40 over Coolidge from the DCIAA. Remember, we talked about in the pregame how both of these teams really not that familiar with this game. This the first appearance for Paul the Sixth, just his 3rd for Coolidge. The last time and only 1 win for them in the city title game, coming all the way back, I believe, in, as I check my notes, even though we're on TV, you can check your notes, folks, Kid School. The last win coming back in 1986, that one a 62-61 win over Gonzaga. The last appearance back in 1988, so it's been a long time coming.
Absolutely. So for both of these two programs, it's a big deal to get here, but it's going to be an even bigger deal to win, as we've talked about. And I think for Coolidge, if they want to get the W in this contest, it's going to be all about defense in this 4th quarter.
Omar Roberts will start with it at the point. And back into some zone defense for Paul VI. And leaving the backside three open, and that one will hit the iron. No good. Rebound, though, up, and Martin will put it back up. No good again. So another point-blank shot missed. And Paul VI with some numbers. Will they take it to the rim? They will. Looking for a goaltend, looking for a foul. What will they call? They'll say a foul on that play, and it will be a shot for Paul VI. Let's go ahead and get a very special guest with our Monica McNutt.
I'm here with Mayor Gray. How are you today, sir?
I'm doing fine.
Just talk about this event. I mean, you're here every year. How important is this to the city?
I think it's really a part of the basic fabric of our city. We were successful in getting these games back down to the premier arena in the city, the Verizon Center. And what a wonderful way to tell our kids how much we appreciate them.
How important are sports in this program? We talk about Michelle Obama's initiative for healthier student athletes. Just how important is sports to DC?
Well, sports always play such an important role in the lives of young people. A lot of people don't realize that student athletes typically have higher grades than other students do. So this is fantastic.
As a former student athlete, I love to hear you say that. Please let them know. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much for Vincent Gray, the mayor of Washington, D.C. Go ahead and join us here on our broadcast. Tillman Dunbar knocking down one of two shots to bring it back to a 10-point lead for Paul VI. Coolidge misses again, and now looking for him. We'll go ahead and give a jump ball there. And I tell you what, some incredulous Paul VI fans, as Roberts just kind of stuck to me, believe that was actually McDaniels, just stuck the hands in and gets the jump ball call.
Well, and Jeremy, we just got statistics for that third quarter, and the shooting percentages just continue to be abysmal. For Paul VI, it's been 35% so far. For Coolidge, a little better, 38.9, but they're still 33.3% in this game. So both teams struggling to knock down the shots, and again, the big difference makers. Paul VI still getting it done on the rebounding end, and the points in the paint still very heavily favoring the Panthers.
And now Tillman Dunbar just kind of loses track of time. Him and Patrick Holloway, I think they thought they were going to have a two-man game going. Holloway cut 5-second call, so back over to Coolidge as they'll go ahead and try and cut him to the 10-point lead, and he will be fouled. Roberts takes it down the lane. A foul be called. He'll head to the line for two.
Nice aggressive play there by Roberts. And so again,
They're going to say that wasn't a shooting foul. So it'll be an inbounds play, and a very good one as they get it quickly into Mormon, who scores again and lead back down to 8.
this has really been the barrier for Coolidge. Other than cutting it to 5, it's really been around 8, 9 points. It's the closest that they've been able to cut it.
And an NBA three-pointer by Holloway from downtown, long distance, and it's back to a 53-42 game with Paul VI in the lead.
Well, and you have to remember, he was the guy both times against DeMatha that hit those last-second buzzer beaters. He is legit. He's a shooter. One of those was a three-pointer. You can never lose sight of Patrick Holloway. Coming into this contest, he had 74 three-pointers on the year.
And a foul after all that contact down low. They'll go ahead and wipe it up, and it'll send McDaniels to the line to shoot 2. And interestingly, in this game, they actually had a towel ready. In the game, the girls' game you did earlier, you and Monica, at one point I believe there was some sweat on the court. No towel there, the referee's using his feet.
They weren't quite prepared for it, a little more prepared for this nightcap contest. That girls' game was a phenomenal one, start to finish, even though the score, I think, doesn't really indicate how close of a contest that it was before Woodson pulling out the win. Jeremy, we talked so much about free throws. Coolidge has to knock them down 50% on that trip to the free throw line. May not get it done here tonight against Paul VI.
McDaniels able to knock down 1 of 2. So again, Coolidge getting 1 out of 2, getting the 50% on a trip. Kind of would like to see them do better than that. But again, the more important thing to lead back to 10, 53-43, 6:30 left to go. But another foul deep in the backcourt on the pressure defense.
And this, I think, is going to put Paul VI, they're going to their free throw line now, 7 team fouls for Coolidge. We talked about all those early fouls in in the third quarter. Would it come back to haunt Coolidge? I think it very much could if Paul VI is able to knock down points from the charity stripe, because it's free throws from here on in, and there is a ton of time left in this fourth quarter.
And really, the referees kind of called it a loose first half. I believe both teams, one had 4 team fouls, one had 3, didn't get anywhere near the bonus. Now we see it, though. That may be more of a product of Coolidge kind of turning up that pressure defense in the backcourt.
I think that's right. Sometimes that's the price you pay. Coolidge had no choice. They had to up the defensive intensity. That was the thing that was working for them, that defense feeding their offense. And another 50% from the free throw line opportunity.
And I'll tell you, a bad scene there from Maurice Jeffers. Skies high for the rebound, and he comes down, and he looks like he's hurt, may have hurt his ankle, and ends up traveling on the play. That's always that real tough situation where you see a guy get hurt on a play and ends up committing the violation. And I don't know if this is Coolidge thought they're going to get a timeout out of this. Jeffers runs off the court. They'll go ahead and sub in for him.
And he's definitely favoring that right foot, so not sure if he's going to be back in this contest. Certainly he may not be back at full force in this contest, because he certainly came up limping after that last play.
Tough break there as Jeffers went up strong for that rebound, but ended up giving it right back. A bit of unluckiness there as the shot back and finally falls down as it rolled around the rim. Coleman Johnson another bucket and lead back out to 13, 56-43 in favor of PVI.
It's amazing how so quietly Paul VI can stretch this lead back out. So once again, Coolidge back on their heels.
And a pass across the lane looking the other way and couldn't get it, and it'll be a turnover, and Paul VI back with the ball. For all your high school sports stories, game coverage, videos, photo galleries, and recruiting news, visit allmetsports.com, a product of the Washington Post. Allmetsports.com, every school, every sport, all the time.
So frustrating for Coolidge right now on that last play. They were looking for that pass, trying to find extra man, exactly what they needed to do. They just turned the ball over. But here they get the offensive rebound and the putback.
Jade Dade able to score that one. That brings the lead back down to 11. Still a lot of time. 5:36 and rolling here in the fourth quarter. Remember, though, no shot clock in this contest, so you have to play some defense. You're not going to be able to just go ahead and play for 30, 35 seconds. Pass down low and almost into our equipment. And the shot will go up, and that one will be no good, but a foul will be called. And we are still on the air, very luckily, as that's the second time you almost caught a player earlier in the game. Now one of our cameramen almost gets taken out.
Absolutely. We are courtside live right in the action right here at the Verizon Center. And some of this is just a product I was just about to say before the collision. The Coolidge, again, good strong defense on that play. You saw the double team come. You saw the Coolidge player stepping into the passing lane. And more missed free throws.
Dorsey missing that one. Remember, Dorsey just a freshman, 5'10". He's got 6 points so far, averaging 2.6 per game. So really, it's got a good thing going. And our cameraman's okay. Jeff's good down there. He's all right. He's playing. We should put a helmet or some shoulder pads on him maybe. As we go ahead, that shot will be missed. So Dorsey misses too. And Coolidge has a chance to cut this thing back under into single digits.
Well, Jeff really has been an MVP tonight, doing 2 games back-to-back and then weathering the storm twice in this contest with players coming flying at him.
Guys spin, a lot of contact again, no foul called, letting them play. Had a run out there, didn't see it on the backside, and now this will be dribbled out of bounds, and they will say it is out off Paul VI. So the Colts with a chance to go ahead and cut it back under 10. And I tell you, Glenn Ferrello, he's not happy with that call. Thinks that one went off of Coolidge.
Absolutely not. He was arguing his case over on the sideline, and he's going to be rewarded for it. The call's going to be reversed.
So Coach Ferrello not just doing a good job coaching, doing a good job refereeing as well to get that thing back over to his team. Remember, all the 6 in the black jerseys, Coolidge in the gray jerseys with the orange piping. And again, Paul VI will inbound, looking to extend their lead out. 4:53 left to go. 56-45. The Panthers of Paul VI leading this one, looking for more. Off the iron, no good. Tap back up and in, and that might have gone to the freshman Dorsey, one of the two, but the lead has been extended.
Well, again, Patrick Holloway's shot off balance. I don't think that's the shot that Paul VI wanted, that they got on the glass, but now a turnover.
And a injection into the bench of Coolidge. Again, a very good play by Coleman Johnson. This is the home court of Georgetown. Big John Thompson will be very proud of that one.
Well, absolutely. And again, Coleman Johnson going on to play at that next level, but wants to leave his mark on this city title game.
And a foul going to be called there in the post on Derrickson, as the spin move by Mormon doesn't result in points, but it will be a chance to go to the line to shoot two.
And again, very important free throws coming up here for Deshaun Mormon. This lead again has been extended out to 13. Only 4 minutes, 30 seconds remaining. It's plenty of time in this contest, but Jeremy, you talked about it earlier. It's been interesting. All the six hasn't shown any signs of trying to run some time off the clock, trying to shorten this game. Instead, they've taken quick shots, have not deviated from their offensive plan at all.
Well, looking to get that lead back down, cut into, and it will be Mormon with the one there, so he'll have a chance for a second and get it down to 11 if he can hit this one.
And of course, this half, Coolidge shooting facing their own fans, so a bit different than what they were facing during the first half, looking into the sixth man, the Paul VI student section.
Mormon able to hit it and make it an 11-point game, and again, we're going to call an offensive foul here, I believe. It will be an offensive foul. That one, I think, an illegal screen.
Again, the defensive intensity paying off for Coolidge. They forced Paul VI into making a mistake there, the charge call, and now an opportunity to once again cut this lead to single digits.
Drive down the baseline, up and off the glass, and good. Nice play by Mormon, strong move, and the lead is back into single digits, under 10 points.
And you see once again Coolidge applying the pressure.
And the pressure in the backcourt again leads to a turnover as it goes off the knee of Jamal Robinson, at least in the referee's view. Robinson didn't agree with the call at all. And now Coolidge with a chance to cut into the lead again, and they will. What a shot from the outside. Omar Roberts left wide open. We now have a 6-point ball game.
And again, this is a credit to the defense. The defense has given them these opportunities. They've been pressuring. You see right here, almost another steal right there by Coolidge. They have turned up the heat in this building, and that is the reason that they are back in this contest.
I tell you, that big three, Paul VI really just fell asleep and left Roberts open for the long one. He's able to hit it, and again, a 6-point game, 58-52, 3:49 and rolling here in the fourth quarter. Paul VI trying to hold on and get their first ever city title championship in their first appearance. Now, looking at the three now inside the arc for a two. That one rattles home for Holloway, extends the lead back out.
And I think Patrick Holloway is the player that they wanted to take that shot. If he had a good open look, they definitely wanted for Patrick Holloway to try to knock it down.
And now Mormon back the other way. He cuts the lead back down to 6, answering the Holloway deuce.
I have been really impressed with Deshaun Mormon in these past few minutes.
And a timeout going to be called by Glenn Farello, as he didn't like the way his team has been handling this pressure defense. And I tell you, if there's one thing that kind of surprises me about this game, Monica, is the fact that Paul VI hasn't really looked that good against the pressure of Coolidge. And obviously, Coolidge, a very good basketball team, but some of the teams that Paul VI sees during the year, we kind of expect them maybe to be a little more ready and better against this pressure D.
Absolutely. We've seen a couple of times they've had a press breaker that's worked. But otherwise, they have been very flustered. I mean, Coolidge, they know what works right now. They have forced a lot of turnovers off this pressure, and then they've been able to convert those into offensive points. And that's the reason that they're back in this contest. I completely agree with you. I can't believe that at this juncture of the season, Paul VI is struggling so much with that backcourt pressure.
And you look at it, we mentioned it earlier in the game. For Coolidge this season, really their two big wins have come against two of your really top private school programs outside the WCAC, beating number 4 Montrose Christian, number 8 Riverdale Baptist. A lot of their losses kind of coming out of the area. Really the only area losses for the Colts this year to Spingarn, also to number 11 North Point. So really it has been a pretty good year for Coolidge, and they play some top competition. It always seems like they kind of get a little underestimated, though, but then they pull off things like this where they play very good games.
I think that's exactly right. Again, I think everyone thought that Paul VI was the favorite coming into this contest, but Coolidge making this one a game.
A lot of contact coming up on that press, but the referee is eating the whistles. Ball knocked loose, and now another turnover for Coolidge. No numbers here. Take it to the bucket anyway, and what a shot going down for Kalen Cumberlander. We now, folks, are looking at a 4-point game.
Oh my goodness, Coolidge getting it done on defense. And a quick shot by Paul VI.
And that will be Paul VI ball. They say it's knocked out of bounds by Coolidge. But again, this frenetic pace is really benefiting Coolidge.
And absolutely, their defense is once again upping the tempo a little bit. Paul VI is getting away from what was working so well for them in the second quarter of this contest.
High up top, Robinson against the defense. Coolidge really bringing it out now in the man-to-man. They are contesting everything. And they will contest a little bit too much as Trayvon Newell gets called for the foul up top, and being in the double bonus, that'll mean foul shots for Paul VI.
Absolutely. We've talked about it so much this game, but really a lot of times these championship games come down to can you knock down your free throws. And given the foul situation right now for Coolidge, you can anticipate Paul VI is going to be on the free throw line a lot during this remaining 2 minutes and 33 seconds. And so they have to knock down the free throws.
And Tillman Dunbar will be the guy who will try right here to extend this lead out. He will hit his first. Dunbar, again, a 5'10 senior guard, averages 8.6 points per game, and he's made the lead 61-56 with a chance to go ahead and add one more with just 2:33 left to go on the clock.
But Dunbar's had his struggles from the line. He's 62.9%. Made that first one look easy.
Dunbar will have a chance to make it 6 as his shot is up, and that one's good. Let's get an update from Monica.
Guys, during that last time out, Coach Jones was pleading with his players. Go as hard as you can. Do whatever you got to do. Go ahead and raise your hand if you need a sub. You got to go all out. Right before that sub, when he put Maurice Jeffers back in, he said, you got to play, big boy. You got to play.
Pass knocked around inside, and it will blow the whistle, and that'll go against Paul VI. So right now, team foul-wise, that's actually going to go ahead and put Coolidge in the bonus, so it'll be a 1-and-1 with a chance to cut in the lead. Maurice Jeffers to do the honors.
When you heard Monica talking about Maurice Jeffers, he left, he got a little banged up, limped off the court. Coach Jones telling him he has to go there. There is no bigger game for them right now than this game. Jeffers back out on the court.
So remember, for all your high school sports stories, game coverage, videos, photo galleries, and recruiting news, visit allmetsports.com, a product of the Washington Post. Allmetsports.com, every school, every sport, all the time. Jeffers with the high arcing shot, able to knock it down, and again, back to a 5-point lead.
So Jeffers getting it done from the free throw line. Again, the Delaware recruit, second opportunity coming up. He would love to cut this lead to 4. Completely manageable, tons of time left on the clock, particularly when you're playing the pressure defense that Coolidge is playing.
Skying up for the rebound, Marcus Derrickson, so it'll be a 5-point game. And Paul VI not looking to run any clock. They're just attacking the basket, and they're attacked on defense by Coolidge as the Colts come up with a steal, have a chance to make this a one-possession game.
Coolidge is doing a great job with the double teams right now. They're not fouling, for the most part, helping themselves out considerably.
And I tell you, I think Coolidge dodges a bullet there as McDaniels try to fit in a pass into tight spaces, and the referees blow the whistle. And I tell you, that whistle getting a lot tighter than it was in the first half.
Well, that's absolutely right. It certainly seems that there have been a lot more foul. I mean, there have been a lot more foul calls in the second half, a lot more calls, period, a lot more stoppages of play. I felt like that first half went by like lightning speed, whereas the second half has been much more slower because there have been so many stoppages in the action. And right now, Jeffers trying to get it done from the free throw line.
So Jeffers to shoot another one. If he knocks it down, he'll make it a one possession game as the Colts trail Paul VI 62 to 58, make it 59 as we have a 3-point game, 1:50 left on the clock, a 30-second timeout to Coolidge. Is that Coolidge or Paul VI? I believe that's Coolidge, so they'll go ahead and make the 30-second. But boy, we have a game going. I know earlier in this half, I didn't think we were going to have that.
Absolutely. I mean, this lead was in double digits for Paul VI, and they were distantly getting it done. But Coolidge's defense has been exceptional for the most part in this second half. They have applied the pressure. You heard Monica talk about what Von Jones has been telling his team in the huddle. They have to leave it all out on the floor right now. They've applied the pressure, the full press. The double teams, they were so deep turnovers, and they've been able to knock down the shots offensively that earlier in this game they were missing.
Yeah, so we will see how this goes the rest of the way out. But again, just a 3-point game. Again, we can't stress it enough, folks. There is no shot clock in this game. So WCAC, they play with a shot clock. This one is not. So in Paul VI, you're talking about really them maybe better served, and something they don't do as much, going ahead and taking as much time as they want before they put up a shot. We'll see if they can do that here.
Well, Jeremy, we talked about that. We were a little surprised that Paul VI wasn't taking more time off the clock earlier in the fourth quarter. Will that come back to haunt them?
Now Paul VI going to take a timeout as Derrickson able to corral that knocked around pass and get stuck in the corner. The interesting thing, though, is a guy of Derrickson's size, you think maybe, hey, don't call timeout. Go ahead and use that height of yours, get it off to somebody else. But he's playing it safe, taking timeout. And again, when it's a one-possession game, I think discretion the better part of valor.
Well, and I also think that Paul VI right now is really rattled by the pressure that they've been seeing out of Coolidge. They've turned the ball over a lot in this fourth quarter, and so I do think that they were trying to play a bit conservative right there. They had the timeout, but this late in the game, you do want to save your timeouts as much as you can in case you need them. I mean, this is a 3-point ball game.
Holloway hit a bunch of big shots this year.
And so right now, our game situation is this, folks. 9 team fouls for each squad, so next one puts everyone in the double bonus. 1 timeout remaining for Coolidge, no timeouts for Paul VI. So you make a good point, Monica. I don't think Coach Farello was looking for that timeout. Wanted to save at least one. They don't have that option. If they get stuck, they got to pass out or give up on the jump ball and hope they have the possession arrow in their favor.
And you're seeing right there Patrick Holloway on your screen. He's been the big-time player for them in close games this year. We talked about those 2 wins over DeMatha. He hit the buzzer beaters in both of those close contests. They beat DeMatha 3 times this year. And the pressure continuing by Coolidge.
And I think right now, Monica, we've gotten to the point where we used to see with the Georgetown teams of John Thompson, the Arkansas teams of Nolan Richardson, where the refs have just kind of stopped calling fouls at some points. A lot of these 50-50 balls as a push will be called there. So just as I open my mouth, the referees go ahead and call one. But a lot of those 50-50 balls where you can hear a slap, something like that, kind of letting that go, and it's leading to a lot of really turnovers, a lot of them for Coolidge in the contest. There, though, the foul is called.
What is interesting, because officials never want to really decide the game. They want the play to decide the game. So sometimes in these late game situations, you see them ease off the whistle just a little bit. But again, the free throw line becoming the important factor in this contest.
Remember, you can purchase a copy of this broadcast at www.synthesismp.com. Tillman Dunbar making that first free throw and able to go ahead and make it a 2-possession game once again. Looks to make another one as his team leads 63-59, 1:35 left on the clock. Has the second shot up and good. So 2 big free throws for Dunbar.
And again, he struggled from the line this year. So that really is stepping it up. That's what seniors do. Tillman Dunbar, when his team needed it the most, knocked down those 2 big free throws, and that stops the momentum just a little bit for Coolidge.
And that time trying to get it into the post, and the long reach of Coleman Johnson doesn't let it happen. Knocks that one out of bounds, and Coolidge will start again. Kick into the corner, shot up, and that one is good. It rattles home, and Charles McDaniel has made this a 2-point game.
And McDaniel's had a couple of big-time winners in this contest, none bigger than that one right there.
Pass down low, that one will roll around real good. Fight for the rebound, put back up, and what a big play there. Getting the follow is Coleman Johnson. Johnson to make it 4 again, and the pass almost stolen on the other end by Kevin Dorsey. It'll be side out for Coolidge, but 2 big shots on either end. Charles McDaniels with one, and then following back up Coleman Johnson.
That's no surprise. There was Coleman Johnson who knocked down that bucket. And now a big-time defensive play by Paul the Six.
And Paul the Six now with the steal. Thinking about the 3, and this will be the dagger, and it goes up 2. What a shot, Patrick Holloway. Nerves of a burglar to go ahead and make this a 7-point bulge.
Oh my goodness, that is what Patrick Holloway does, and he got it done right there for Paul the Six.
And now a steal by Paul the Six, and this we're going to call this a jump ball. So that'll keep it with Coolidge. Could have been a big play, might have been close to a foul there. They don't call it, they go with the jump ball instead. But again, the Holloway shot really didn't even need it if you think about it. They had the 4-point lead, takes it anyway, and he might have closed this one out.
Well, ice water in his veins, but again, he is their big-time scorer when they need it most.
And now the turnover, and Coolidge has to give the foul as Cumberlander gives it up. And Paul the Six will go to the line to shoot 2, and this one just about done.
Well, the Paul the Six fans starting to feel it again. We've talked about it, but they have never been in this city title game before. It has been a dream season for the Paul the Six Panthers. At the conclusion of this game, either way, their season will end. They have tried to leave everything out on the floor. Just a historic campaign by the Panthers.
And a jubilant Paul the Six student section as the free throws, this one out and no good, so Dunbar can't knock it down. It remains 68-62 in favor of Paul the Six with 23.4 left. Makes this one and becomes a 3-possession game. Second one, this one around out, no good, so Coolidge still has a shot. They'll look to push. Morgan, he'll pull up. That one partially blocked. And the rebound pulled in by Paul the Six. Coolidge has to give the foul. And again, another big play by Paul the Six. Late in the game when they've needed it, they've come up huge.
Well, absolutely. And Coolidge understood the situation. It was a 2-possession game. They wanted to try to score quickly. It wasn't the best shot opportunity here to defend it. And of course, Coolidge understands they do not have a lot of time. And right now, Paul the Six just putting some icing on the cake right now.
So again, the Panthers pretty much with a chance to finish this one off as Jamal Robinson goes to the line for 2 in the double bonus. First one up, that one's good.
And just going back to that 3-pointer by Patrick Holloway, this building erupted. I mean, the student section, they love Patrick Holloway. How could you not love having someone like that on your team, hitting those big-time buckets? And you know George Mason has to be really excited about having him come in next year.
70-62. Under 5 seconds. Coolidge puts a shot up. That one will go down for Roberts, and they will take their final timeout with 2.2 left. It's 70-64, but this one's all over but the shouting as Paul the Six going to come away in their first ever trip to the city title game. Going to get their first ever win in the city title game.
Well, and I think, Jeremy, the deficit just got to be too much. I mean, Coolidge, as hard as they played in this contest, as great as their defense has been in the second half, the deficit was just too great for them to dig out of. They did cut the lead to 3. It was an exceptional comeback by the Colts, but Paul the Six just too much. They today were the better team, consistent from start to finish. They were able to knock down more shots. They got it done on the rebounding end of it, and that is basically how they earned the city title championship.
So again, we'll see if Coolidge gives the foul. Likely, you would think they won't, considering it's a 2-possession game with 2.2 left to go. Only maybe Coolidge's only hope getting some type of offensive foul. The Colts will not foul, and that will do it as Paul the Six, in their first ever trip to the city title game, wins the city title game by a final score of 70-64 over Coolidge. A great performance and a great cap to their great season.
I think that's exactly right. This is the capstone of Paul the Six season right now. I want to talk a little bit about the Colts, because you have to give them a lot of credit. They were back on their heels the entire game. They never gave up. Coach Von Jones has to be happy with the intensity that he saw out of his team during the second half. That's the way that they got back into this contest. Their defense was absolutely stellar. They never hung their heads. They were always in this game, and I think that's a credit to them and a credit to the quality of program they have this year.
Yeah, and you really talk about it, and we even mentioned it. It looked like they got a little bit frazzled at points during the game, more than we would have expected from a team of their caliber. But when it really counted late in the game, they're able to go ahead and break that pressure from Coolidge and able to go ahead and get big shots when they needed them at the end of the contest, especially with Patrick Holloway.
Yeah, I was talking to Stan Robinson on the phone.
So, of course, Paul VI, again, missing Stan Robinson tonight, giving him the call, communicating with him that they did win the contest here tonight. Stan Robinson very much a part of this family. And again, one thing that head coach Glenn Perillo emphasized to me before this game, they would not have been here tonight without Stan Robinson.
Yeah, obviously with the great season, leading scorer, and we talk about a guy who's got offers from Pittsburgh, Rutgers, Miami, VCU, Massachusetts, Drexel, all over the place, not being there, but they're able to go ahead and get the win and persevere anyway. And Paul VI with a huge victory tonight, and our Daniel Zimmett, he's standing by with some of the folks who are a key part of this victory.
I'm here with the city title champions, Patrick Holloway, future Mason Patriot, Tillman Dunbar, future Navy player, and of course, Coach Farello. Coach, what were you telling these guys down the stretch to pull out this victory?
You know, we always talk about finishing strong, and I think he really stepped up. We call him the assassin for a reason. He hits big shots in the fourth quarter. Can't be more proud of how these two performed in the fourth quarter for us.
You talk about the commitment of these guys through the entire season, ups and downs.
Yeah, our motto all year has been share the game, and they've shared it really well with each other, and I'm really proud of them. Coleman Johnson had another great game. These seniors went out the right way, and I'm really happy for them.
Patrick, can you talk about playing in the Verizon Center, big venue, a lot of people here. I even saw some Mason fans around. Talk about that.
It means a lot. You know, people know I'm going to Mason next year, so when they come out to see me play, you know, I expect to, give them a show, or expect to do the best I can, so they have faith in me that when I come there next year, that I'm giving my best. So it meant a lot. It's a big court, it's a big stage, but I think, we handled the pressure. We handled it the best way we could, and we won, so that's what matters.
What's going through your head right now? You guys are city title champions.
I mean, I don't even know. It's crazy right now. The third championship of the year. We wanted to finish out strong. We lost to the Math in Alhambra. That hurt us. So, we came back today knowing that we were going to play hard, and we were going to go out and try to win.
Now, Tillman, congratulations. Can you talk about what it's like playing with these guys? You and Patrick, both seniors here. Can you kind of talk about that?
I love playing with them. We built this thing, started it off 3 years ago. To see it end like this with 3 championships in 1 year and the amazing season we had, it's unbelievable. I couldn't ask for a better group of guys to play with.
You talk about playing for Coach Farello here, what he's done for you, how he's progressed your career.
We had our ups and downs as every coach and player. Honestly, I'm 10 times better than when I came in. So without Coach Farello, I don't know what I'd be right now. But he made me a terrific basketball player in my opinion. So I appreciate what he's done for me.
Well, congratulations to all three. You go enjoy this championship. Back to you guys.
And thank you so much, Daniel. And again, a very good performance by this Paul VI team, especially when you consider no Stan Robinson, able to go ahead and get the win anyway in the city title game. Quick look at your stats in this one. Really a few big guys. I think you mentioned it, Monica. Thought the Panthers would have to have a few guys step up in the absence of Robinson. They did it tonight. Patrick Holloway had 16 points in the contest. Coleman Johnson with 15. Jamal Robinson had 10. Tillman Dunbar with 11. So you look at it, 4 guys in double figure scoring. It wasn't really a one-man gang out there. It was a complete team effort, as Coach Perillo likes to see.
Absolutely. Everyone left it out on the floor. It was a complete, total team effort tonight. They did need for players to step up because Stan Robinson was not available. And they just showed tonight they are a complete team. They can step in even without their leading scorer and defeat a team like Coolidge, who again, we can't emphasize enough. This Coolidge team, this is a tough team. Tonight they struggled a little bit, particularly on the shooting end of the floor. But this is a huge win for Paul VI, and they did it as a team.
Mentioned Coolidge quickly on their side. Deshaun Moorman, a great game. 21 points for him. Kalen Cumberlander had 15. Omar Roberts, the other double-figure scorer for the Colts, who finished off the season with a loss. But again, really a good performance by them, and in a sense, kind of showed that they really were a good team. Some people kind of said, who knows, those wins over Riverdale, the wins over Montrose Christian, are they really that great? Obviously, were they kind of fluky? Well, if you take a team who's the #1 team in the area like Paul VI and really have them on the ropes like Coolidge did, you have to be proud of that, even if you don't get the win in the contest.
Well, I think that's right, and as we talked about, they still have a little work left to do because they are going to play in the National High School Invitational at Georgetown Prep. Again, Montrose Christian is going to be participating in that event, so they can take the lessons that they've learned here tonight and apply them to that contest. Maybe they'll get to see Montrose Christian again, who knows? But again, you can't take away from them the season that they've had. They have every right to be proud of what they've been able to accomplish.
And that's going to do it for us here from the Verizon Center on allmetsports.com. Want to thank a whole bunch of people before we go. Cameraman Jeff Kozlowski, Nick Plum, also Brandon Roth, also our sideline reporters Monica McNutt and Daniel Zimmett, also my partner Monica Moore. Thank you so much for pulling double duty, making me sound good as well. And also our technical director and executive producer BJ Kruger-Willis. I'm Jeremy Huber. Again, a great night of basketball at the Verizon Center. Our girls game, that one went to Wood City, knocked off Good Counsel, and then in the boys matchup in the nightcap, it was Paul VI winning their first ever city title, knocking off Coolidge 70-64. Good night, everybody.